What name do you use?
You can call me Clay.
Clay? Yes, Clay. Okay, Clay. So what happened? How many prostitutes have you killed?
12.
Little is known about Ellwood's early life other than the fact that he might have been born in Massillon, Ohio, and that he served time for drug offenses and probation violations in Florida and Ohio. Even though he was always a suspect, he said he would move to New Orleans in January to clear his name and solve his cases. But as soon as he arrived in the state, Ellwood was taken into custody on traffic-related charges. He ultimately got a job as a freelance photographer, but he left for an undisclosed reason. He then decided to become a cab driver because he couldn't afford a house and was living in his car. Later, Ellwood received $15,000 from his mother, but he invested it in penny stocks and lost it all. He began killing for unclear motives, taking the life of Cheryl Lewis, his first known victim, by drugging her and drowning her in a canal on February 1, 1993. He then dumped her body next to Highway 3160, in Honville. Lewis's mother, Lillian, reported her missing on February 2, 1993. Dolores Mack was also murdered. She was first drugged, and then strangled. The bodies of Lewis and Mack were discovered on February 21 and 22. These two murders were part of a string of at least 26 prostitutes who were killed between 1991 and 1996. Two off-duty St. Charles Parish deputies saw Ellwood returning to the scene of the Cheryl Lewis murder a year later. He said that he was trying to change the oil in his cab in a covert manner, depositing the used oil outside where no one could see it. The deputies let Ellwood go, even though there was no evidence that Ellwood was changing the oil in his taxi. This action would lead to his arrest because, in 1997, 2 years after the New Orleans murder task force was set up, Ellwood was named as a suspect. When the task force talked to him again, he admitted to dumping the body of a black woman in the water next to a country road. He gave details that were similar to how Cheryl Lewis's body was found. Despite the fact that his attorneys said he was in Ohio at the time of both killings, Ellwood was detained and charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder. This was refuted by Ellwood's receipts, which show a puzzling 2-week break in February. When he appeared in court, other prisoners who knew Ellwood gave witness accounts against him. When it was discovered that Ellwood was in Ohio when Dolores Mack was killed, one of the 2 murder counts against him was dismissed on February 24, 1999. Ellwood hoped that the second murder charge would also be dropped, but the government stood by its position. According to reports, after that, the status of Ellwood's conviction on the remaining murder charge is unknown. As he returned to the crime scene, as other serial killers do, it can be assumed that he was, but as far as is known, no information on the matter has been made public. If he was responsible for the string of murders that occurred in New Orleans, Ellwood's victims were almost always prostitutes. He first rendered his victims unconscious by giving them drugs, and then he killed them in a number of ways, most commonly by strangling or suffocation. Cheryl Lewis died from drowning, while Dolores Mack died from being strangled. Many people believe that Russell Ellwood is Clay the serial killer, the man who contacted the Howard Stern show in 1997 and confessed to killing women in a call that was broadcast on the show.
What name do you use?
You can call me Clay.
Clay?
Clay?
Yes, Clay. Okay, Clay. So what happened? How many prostitutes have you killed?
12.
And you're wondering why you do it?
I have a pretty good idea.
Why? Did your mom beat you? Did your mom spank you?
Was your mom a prostitute?
No. Actually, nothing like that.
What is it then?
I think I just do it for the sense of the power.
Right. Do you have sex with them first?
Yes, and
then what, you strangle them?
once.
How else did you kill them?
Well, a few times, actually most times with a hammer.
And where do you do this primarily?
I've done it twice in a parking garage, and then the rest of the times on the side of the road.
And you're from the New Orleans area?
Yes.
Hmm.
Better.
And how? I mean, what do you beat them to death with a hammer?
Man.
It usually only takes once, and
Dude, you got to have a lot of anger in you.
yes.
And that means you're heartless. Did you used to kill small animals?
No, I've killed a rat.
Yeah. Dude, you're a serial killer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And you get away with it, I guess, because they're hookers, and so far nobody's... What?
Is this Howard?
Yeah. Hello? Hello?
I didn't know this was Howard.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Howard.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've never killed a kitten.
So how old were you when you killed your first woman?
16.
And you must be a powerful kind of guy, big guy.
I wasn't then.
Right. And when you killed your first one, did you go in there knowing you were going to kill her, or it just sort of happened?
I knew I really had it planned out.
Hmm.
You know, I wanted to do the whole sending clues.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Are you
wanted
in?
to baffle people, but it turned out no one noticed for a long time.
Right. Like you killed her on the side of the road?
That was the parking garage.
Okay. And then what'd you do with the body? You dumped that somewhere?
Yeah, actually, I think she's probably one of the ones that they found.
Yeah.
But let me ask you something. You were sending clues that you were going to do this?
No, I was.
He was going to
doing that.
He was going to leave like a note for the newspapers, and
But you decided not to.
he didn't want to be famous or draw attention to himself. But my problem is,
No, that's what I wanted to do. But
but you did, but no one noticed the clues.
I never sent the clues. I never left anything. You know, I wanted to have my own little signature.
Right.
I wanted the thumb paint
Oh, it's,
with their thumbs.
Oh, really?
what do you want to do?
Thumb paint with their thumbs.
Thumb paint what though?
I don't know.
Oh, anything. It was in a comic book a couple of years ago. Just seemed like a good idea.
Like you take the girl you killed, you dip her thumbs in paint, and then you do like a thumb painting
Yes.
on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Now, after you kill somebody, do you play with the body?
Actually, the closest I've ever done to that is I always make sure I pay them and I make sure they keep their money
Oh, really?
when they're still alive. But with one of them, I did put the money in a compromising place.
I see.
But this one. You know, it had a penis.
Oh, really?
It was a guy.
Yeah. I didn't know at first.
So do you ever get? Do you think the reason you're so angry is because you were abused or something?
No, I wasn't abused, Howard.
Where's your family?
You got a
I
wife?
mean, you got a mom, a dad, a wife, children. You got any of that?
I've got a couple of kids, but I'm
No wife.
not married to the mother.
You're a white guy?
Yeah, Howard, that's pretty funny because the only suspect they had when they started finding the bodies was a black police officer.
Oh.
Sometimes I ask them if they think it's dangerous doing what they're doing, if they're worried about things, and they'll laugh it off, and that just pisses me off.
Right. And then you go ahead and you kill him.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go.
Russell Ellwood went on trial in 1998 for the murders that he committed in 1993 of Cheryl Lewis, age 30, and Dolores Mack, age 40. In the end, Ellwood was found guilty of the murder of Cheryl Lewis. However, it was believed that he was responsible for as many as 15 to 20 plus homicides in the New Orleans area, and many people feel that he was responsible for even more. On August 17, 1999, Russell Ellwood was found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison with hard labor.